What's up, everybody? It's me, Anthony, and it's the time of the week again. It's Anthony's NFL Picks. Week 12. That's right. We are now in the 12th week of the NFL, and I am very happy right now because this is when stuff starts to get real now. This is when things start to really come together, like the puzzle pieces that we are going through right now. And I'm excited all over because January is when the playoffs begin, and these videos are going to get shorter yet again at the end of the third season. Can't believe we're already doing this in season 3. I don't know if there will be a season 4 yet, but either way, I'm excited to get things started. But before we start, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bells to get updated on my newest content. Also, last week I did very well. I did the best record I've had since the first week. I went 12-3, and now my overall record is 105, 56-1. That is crazy. But anyways, let's get things started. But before we start, there are 4 teams that will not be starting for this week, and they are my 3-8 Commanders, the 9-2 Broncos, the 7-4 Chargers, and the 4-7 Dolphins will not be in for week 12. Let's get things started and kicking things off finally for Thursday Night Football. We finally don't have a division battle because these last couple of games have been division fights. Our non-division game, our first one, we have the 7-3 Bills and the 5-5 Texans. Both teams are coming back from wins. Buffalo is here after beating Tampa Bay in a must-win game, 44-32. Josh Allen threw for 2 picks. However, he threw for 3 touchdowns, and he has been amazing. Josh Allen, I really hope, gets a Super Bowl before he retires. I don't want him to turn into Jim Kelly 2.0. On the other side, Texans, again, coming back from a clutch win without C.J. Stroud. Davis Mills, he played okay. They won because, again, it was against the Titans. The Titans are garbage. They won 16-13. But to be honest, it's in Houston, though. But I think Buffalo needs to get moving. They need to, if they want to win the AFC East, they got to start winning games now because the Patriots don't like they're slowing down. So I think Buffalo will win this one. It's probably a win for Buffalo over the Texans. Bills will defeat the Texans 34-25. Bills will be 8-3. Texans will be 5-6. We move on with our next game. And now it's time for our 1 p.m. games on Sunday. And our first one is the 8-2 Colts and the 5-5 Chiefs. Colts are here, coming back from their bye week. They're all rested up. Surprisingly, they're 8-2. I expected them to be like 5-5, like the Chiefs, who are 5-5, surprisingly. That Super Bowl hangover against the Eagles last season are really screwing them over. And they lost to Denver, which was a huge blow for them. I don't think they're going to win the AFC West this season. They think it's going to be Denver. They're 9-2. The Chiefs lost 22-19 against Denver. Denver's a really good team. Bo Nix is playing great, and even though they lost J.K. Dobbins, they're still a really good team. R.J. Harvey's doing really good. Courtland Sutton's doing really good. But either way, I'm going with the Colts. Daniel Jones is all rested up. Jonathan Taylor has had an amazing season. The Chiefs are slowing down. I think Kelsey is time for him to retire. They have nobody. Isaiah Pacheco is out, probably. That's the reason why they probably lost. And Kareem Hunt, he's not that great. And the Chiefs need a running back in the draft because I don't think Isaiah Pacheco's the answer. He's good and all, don't get me wrong, but again, injuries. But I'm going to go with the Colts either way. I know it's an Arrow and GEHA field, but I think the Colts are going to win this one. Colts will defeat the Chiefs 27-24. Colts will be 9-2. The Chiefs will fall to 5-6. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we have the 7-3 Seahawks and the 1-9 Titans. Seahawks, both teams come back from losses. Seattle is here after losing to the Rams. Sam Darnold had an ugly game, even though they almost won with that last-second missed kick by Jason Meyer, 21-19. But they lost to the Rams, and Sam Darnold threw for 4 interceptions. He was awful. And now they're going on against Tennessee, who's also not that great either. They're 1-9. They lost to Houston. Tennessee is not a great team. Cam Ward, I'm going to cut him some slack because, again, Cam Ward is a rookie. And Calvin Ridley is actually out for the whole season now for Tennessee, which is a huge blow for them. Either way, it doesn't matter. The Titans are done. They're 1-9. They're going to be eliminated probably either this week or next week. Their Titans are just so bad. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks on this one. Seattle needs to win. They need to bounce back. That was a very close game against the Rams. Even though Sam Darnold threw for 4 picks, they need to get back on track right now because the NFC playoff picture is getting close. Seahawks will defeat the Titans 20-7. Seattle will be 8-3. Titans will be 1-10. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we have an NFC North showdown, and this is between the 4-6 Vikings and the 6-3-1 Packers. Vikings, they are here after losing to the Bears at the last second. J.J. McCarthy was awful on Sunday as well. Threw for 2 interceptions, I swear. J.J. McCarthy looked like Christian Ponder 2.0, and I told my dad about this, and my dad said, "Oh yeah, he didn't really play in his rookie season because he tore his meniscus, so we got to give him some time." But he's playing like garbage out there. You lost to Chicago somehow. The Bears are good all of a sudden. We'll get to them later, but still, how do you lose to the Bears? And you gave them hope, which is kind of a crime. But either way, they're going on against the Packers, who beat the Giants 27-20. Jordan Love had a pretty good game, even though Josh Jacobs might be out. Tucker Kraft's out with a torn ACL, which is a huge blow for Green Bay. I still think they're going to win this game because, again, it's in Green Bay, and Minnesota is just downright garbage. J.J. McCarthy, he might not be the answer, but again, it's only in his first year, technically his first year. But I'm going to go with the Packers. It's at home, so over them. Packers will defeat the Vikings 26-19. Packers will be 7-3-1. Vikings will go on to be 4-7. We move on to the next game. Coming up at our next game, we have the 2-8 Jets and the 5-5 Ravens. The Jets are here after losing Thursday night against New England 27-13, and I just found out today that the Jets benched Justin Fields for Tyrod Taylor. Yup, the Jets are utter garbage. Even when they try their best, they always find ways to jet themselves. And my friend is a Jets fan, and if you're watching this, I'm so sorry what you have to go through every day, every single week when this season's on. The Jets just continue to keep shooting themselves in the foot. And now they're taking on Baltimore, who beat the Browns barely. They swept them for the season because, again, the Browns are terrible. I think I'm going to go with the Ravens. The Ravens are a better team. Lamar Jackson is really showing proof, and ever since their bye week, they have won 4 straight. They were 1-5, now they're 5-5. They're back on track. I think Baltimore might win the division because the Steelers are slowing down. The Ravens will defeat the Jets 23-14. Ravens will be 6-5. Jets will be 2-9. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we have the 2-9 Giants and the 6-4 Lions. Both teams are coming back from losses. Giants are here after losing to Green Bay. Playing competitive, though, even though they just fired Brian Daboll last week. Joe, the interim for the Giants, he did actually not that bad. But again, Jameis Winston actually had a start because Jackson Dart was out with a concussion. Jameis Winston had an okay game. He didn't play bad, though, but he was okay. They tried the best they could. But now they're going on to Detroit against the Lions, who lost to the Eagles in Philadelphia last Sunday night, 16-9. The Lions are out of the playoff picture at the season ended today, so that's a huge red flag for Detroit. They're 6-4. However, the NFC, again, it's stacked with a lot of great teams. I think they need to win this one. I think they're going to beat the Giants because, again, the Giants are not that great of a team, and besides, they have a lot of injuries. I'm going with the Lions. I don't know if Jackson Dart's coming back this week, but either way, I'm going with Detroit. Lions will defeat the Giants 28-21. Lions will be 7-4. Giants will be 2-10. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we have a pretty interesting game, and this is between the 6-4 Steelers and the 7-3 Bears. Steelers are here after completely obliterating Cincinnati 34-12. Despite the win, the Steelers lost Aaron Rodgers. Possibly he is questionable with a wrist injury. And Mason Rudolph had to finish the rest of the game. Either way, they still won. The Bengals are downright garbage. And now they're going on against the Bears, who are surprisingly 7-3 somehow on the season. Ben Johnson is a really good coach, and they did a really good job hiring the Bears. And again, the Bears, a lot of people keep sleeping on them, but I think they could win the NFC North because depending on what's going on, the Lions kind of had a bad start. Packers, I don't really know if they're going to be for real anymore because the Packers are also screwed with injuries. The Vikings always find ways just to shoot themselves in the foot. But I'm going to go with the Bears. Aaron Soldier Field, I think it's an easy win for them because the Steelers have a lot of injuries. So I'm going to go with Chicago. Bears will defeat the Steelers 20-17. Bears will be 8-3. Steelers will be 6-5. We move on with the next game. And coming up at our next game, we have a very bad one. It's the 9-2 Patriots and the 3-7 Bengals. Patriots are here after winning against the Jets on Thursday night, 27-13. And now they have won their 8th straight game. The Patriots have been unbelievable. I think it's return of the empire. You didn't kill the man, but you may have killed the man, but you have not killed the idea. Drake May is playing like Tom Brady, but again, don't want to get the hopes up. He's in his second year. But the Patriots have been on fire, burning all cylinders. They have been a really good team lately. I think they're going to beat Cincinnati, and the Bengals are here after losing to the Steelers. And Jamar Chase is now suspended for one game after spitting on Jalen Ramsey, and he's been fined over $500,000. The Bengals aren't going anywhere anyway. When Joe Burrow got hurt, I knew they were done. They really needed Joe Burrow, and they were 2-0 with Joe Burrow in week 2. Remember that. But now ever since he's gone, Jake Browning did terrible, and then Joe Flacco had to step in the mid of October, and he's not doing that great either. Joe Flacco's like in his 40s, but I'm going to go with the Patriots anyway. The evil empire is definitely back, so we got to all watch out. Patriots will defeat the Bengals 33-10. Patriots will be 10-2. Bengals will be 3-8. We move on to the next games. And now it's time for our 4 p.m. games. Our first battle is a battle of the garbage. Both are 2-8. The 2-8 Browns and the 2-8 Raiders. Browns are here after losing, and Dylan Gabriel have suffered a concussion in Sunday's game against the Ravens, and Shedeur had to step in. Oh my goodness. Shedeur was awful. Threw an interception and not even a touchdown, but again, he's not that great. I don't think he'll ever be good like his father, though. But either way, they're going against the Raiders, who actually lost to Dallas yesterday, 33-16. Geno Smith is old. They just need to move on. But again, the O-line is terrible for the Raiders. Like, Brock Bowers is really good still. Ashton Genty is really good as well. I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one. I think Vegas is going to win. They need to get back on track. I think they're going to beat the Browns. The Browns are not a good team at all. But Myles Garrett is still really good. I don't even know why he wanted to stay with the Browns, but he broke a record, so either way, Raiders. Raiders will defeat the Browns 19-16. Raiders will be 3-8. Browns will be 2-9. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we have the 6-4 Jaguars and the 3-7 Cardinals. Jaguars are here after completely stomping on the Chargers 35-6. Trevor Lawrence played very well, and so did Travis Etienne. Had a great game. He played very well, Travis Etienne, and I like him. He's a really good running back. And now they're going on against Arizona, who lost to the 49ers. Jacoby Brissett had the most passes in an NFL career, I think, on Sunday, which is crazy because the Cardinals don't have Kyler Murray, and they lost to San Francisco, getting swept by them 41-22. But again, I'm going to go with the Jaguars. The Jaguars are a really good team now. I think Liam Cohen is a great coach. Trevor Lawrence is doing really well, and despite no Travis Hunter for the rest of the season, I think they're going to beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals are downright garbage. Kyler Murray is not back, so Jacoby Brissett will be starting possibly. I think he's going to be better than Kyler Murray at this point. But either way, I don't want to get my hopes up. The Jaguars will defeat the Cardinals 29-22. Jaguars will be 7-4. Cardinals will be 3-8. We move on with our next game. And coming up with our next game, we have a Week 1 kickoff rematch, an NFC East rematch, and it's between the mighty 8-2 Eagles and the 4-5-1 Cowboys. The Eagles, they're here after winning against the Lions in that sloppy game, 16-9. Philadelphia has been really good lately, but not that great like they were last season when they won the Super Bowl. But again, a lot of crazy shockers this season. Every season is like that, but this season's kind of a weird one. But again, they're still the best team in the NFL, in the NFC, and so are the Rams. But the Rams they lost the tiebreaker against the Eagles week 3, so the Eagles are the best team leading the NFC in the playoff picture. But now they're taking on the Cowboys, who beat the Raiders, but I don't think they're going to win the division this season. I think the Eagles will finally break the NFC East curse by not having any consecutive division leaders in a row. I think it's the Eagles' time for them to repeat as division champs again for the first time since 2005. The NFC East has never had the same division winner. I'm going with Philadelphia on this one. The Eagles are going to beat the Cowboys 31-27. Eagles will be 9-2. Cowboys will be 3-6-1. We move on with our next game. 4-5-1. I know the Cowboys record, I forgot. But the Cowboys are not winning this game. Again, I know they're in Dallas, though, but the Cowboys are not a good team. The Cowboys are going to lose this one. They're going to be 4-6-1. So, again, the Cowboys can make the playoffs. Who knows? It's a crazy season, but we're moving on to the next game. And coming up at our next game, we have an NFC South matchup, and it's not a really great one. It's the 3-7 Falcons. They're going on against the 2-8 Saints, who coming back from their bye week, and the Falcons, who also lost to the Panthers, blowing that game. And we got some other bad news about the Falcons. Michael Penix is now out for a couple of games. He might be out for the whole season. They lost to the Panthers in overtime, 30-27. Kirk Cousins had to step in, so Kirk Cousins will be starting for this game, and it's in New Orleans. The Saints are coming back from their bye week. Before their bye week, they beat the Panthers 17-7. Tyler Shaw played very well. And again, he's 28 years old, I think. He's kind of old, though. But either way, I think they're going to beat the Falcons. The Saints are going to beat Atlanta 24-3. Saints, they will go on to be 3-8. The Falcons will also be 3-8. We move on with our next game. And coming up next for Sunday Night Football, we got a great division battle. We're not a division battle. It's a great matchup. It's between the 6-4 Buccaneers and the 8-2 Rams. Buccaneers, they're here after losing to the Bills 44-32. Buccaneers have a lot of injuries. They're still in first place though, but if they lose, that's a huge problem for them because the Panthers are catching up at 6-5. And that's kind of a huge red flag for Tampa Bay. But either way, they're going on against the Rams, who are 8-2, and they have been amazing. Matthew Stafford has the most touchdowns and has very little picks at only 2. He has 27 touchdowns. Matthew Stafford is having a great season right now, and he's like in his 30s, which is amazing. But I still think they're going to beat the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are banged up with injuries left and right. I still think it's going to be an easy Ram victory, and they'll move on to be better and trying to get that first spot with the Eagles. Rams will defeat the Buccaneers 36-30. Rams will be 9-2. Buccaneers will be 6-5. We move on to the next game. And last but not least for Monday Night Football, we have a pretty competitive game. I thought this game was going to be terrible in like the first week, and now it's actually a pretty good game. We have the 6-5 Panthers and the 7-4 Niners. Panthers are here after winning, and both teams coming back from victories. Panthers are here after beating the Falcons in overtime 30-27. Rico Dowdle, who they got from the Cowboys in the offseason, has played very well. He's made a huge, drastic change for the Panthers. 6-5, really good start. Now they're going on against the Niners in San Francisco, who got Brock Purdy is finally back from his injury, and they won, and they beat Arizona, sweeping them for the season. San Francisco is still a really good team. I still think they can make the playoffs, but again, the whole season is very weird right now, but I'm going to go with the Niners on this one. The Niners need to get back on track. I think they're going to be probably 9-4 before their bye week, because after this week, they take on the Browns. So I think it's going to be an easy thing for the Niners. Niners will defeat the Panthers 34-25. 49ers will be 8-4. Panthers will be 6-6. And that is it for this week, everybody. These are all my NFL picks for Week 12. Tune in next week for Anthony's NFL Picks Week 13, which will be premiering next Tuesday, November 25th. This is Anthony signing off, and have a great week.